there's two key things here. Work, which is where people do things, and shop, which is a place where you acquire things. And what I want you to be thinking about today, certainly for the next two sessions which we're doing, so you guys are going to be working and you're going to be acquiring things. And you're not going to be getting them from Simon, myself and Jessica so much as from the tables that you're on. This is a leader. I'm hoping that it's not too hard, but it might be for some people. But he makes a very good point. If you don't have a competitive advantage, you don't compete. The other thing he said is, if you're not first or second in your market, get out of the market, because you're never going to win. Very, very inspiring leader. Great autobiography, you should read it.
So let's start by talking about what strategy isn't. Strategy is not just about thinking. It's not about posturing and prevaricating, as Rodin's thinker does so nicely. Strategy is about doing something. It's not creating this grandiose business plan. It's about something that you can actually put into action. We talked about how do I compete? And in terms of how do I compete, that's looking at our business model for an early stage company. So what does the business model break down into? We like to think about it in three different parts. So first of those, how do I create value? So who are my customers and what is my offering to them? What are the benefits that they're going to get from my product or service? What's going to be valuable to them? Second thing we look at is how do I deliver value? How does my product or service provide value to the customer? What is it? What are its key features? How does it differentiate from the competition? And lastly, look at how do I capture value? So how am I going to make money from whatever it is I'm doing? And why are my customers going to pay for it? So an entrepreneur is not just someone who takes risk. An entrepreneur is someone who knows how to mitigate risk. And your strategy should really help you focus down on a few things. And by focusing, you should be reducing your risk. David's written a fantastic blog post about focus that's on the Escape the City blog, so go check it out after this. Focusing on a few key things that will make a difference, rather than trying to do everything. That links back to questioning, because you have to be able to ask yourself, of the 10 things I could do today, what's the one thing that's going to make a difference? As the CEO of a startup company, your time is going to be your most limited resource. You're going to be pulled in a lot of different directions. The ability to focus and prioritise on what really makes a difference can be the difference between success and failure. Drive that far, because I've got my kids, so thank you.
Well, that's the thing. It takes a lot of time to cook a lot of small cakes. So
I'm willing to
probably to do those two events, I'm probably working on a rate of maybe, I don't know, 50 cakes an hour maybe.
I'll leave you guys thinking about that. Don't forget the other.
What are your key assumptions? What are your key assumptions behind this? What needs to be true? What would you want to test? Or anybody out there? What would you want to test if you were going to do this?
That people look for personalized cake.
Okay.
That there are lots of people in the city.
So, it looks like a reasonable proposition. On the back of it, you can write down 3 or 4 things that you think you'd want to test. Then you go and get some data on that, see if that's true, and little by little you refine it and it grows.
So going back to the fishing analogy, some places are not the place to go fishing. Some places look like they might be good to go fishing until you realise they're downstream at large industrial sites. Other places might look terrible for fishing, but then on close inspection, actually you might like to go fishing there. But we're all after the same thing. Once we've got our companies up and running, we're looking for lots of nice big fish.
Your target ideal customers.
Right, our target ideal customers are at the top. They are premium large organisations that host regular events.
Okay,
Yep.
so tell me a little bit about the attributes, but actually I'm more interested in the circumstances, because that's what's going to make them buy.
Right, okay, these guys host regular events. They are sort of premium companies, and so this is not sort of, a little bit of cake from Tesco. We're not competing with that. We're competing with guys who get high quality caterers in. We are also going for the caterers, because a lot of caterers, they'll do the complete deal. The company only wants to deal with one person when it comes to food. So, we sell our stuff to the caterers. The caterers make sure we get regular business. Also, proven distribution network. We need to go for wholesalers. Again, for the wholesalers, they don't make their own cakes, but they do need to sell cakes.
Let me ask you, with a direct route, how do you know when they're having events? Because I think I said to some of you guys, one of the things about circumstances, you may or may not know when those buying circumstances are happening.